Good morning, teacher. Good morning, classmate. My name is Julio Quesada. I'm going to talk about natural resources. Ever since the earth was inhabited, humans and other life forms have depended on things that exist freely in nature to survive. These things uh, include weather, seas, and fresh weather, lands, soil, soil, rocks, forests, vegetation, animals, include fish, uh, fossil, fossil fuels, and minerals. They are called natural resources and are the basis on life on Earth. All these mentioned above are natural and they exist in nature. No human created them. We tap into their supply to survive and also to function properly. Natural resources are all connected in a way. Therefore, if one is taken away, it will be affect the supply or quality of all other. For example, if water is eliminated from an area, the vegetation, soils, animals, and even the air in that area will be affected negatively. Natural resources can be consumed directly or indirectly. For instance, humans depend directly on forests for food, biomass, health, recreation, and increased living comfort. Indirectly, forests act as climate control, flood control, storm protection, and nutrient cycling. Raw materials. Sometimes natural resources can be used as raw materials to produce something. For instance, we can use a tree from the forest to produce timber. The timber is then used to produce wood for furniture or pulp for paper and paper products. In this scenario, the tree is the raw materials. Every item in your home was made from a raw material that that came from a natural resource. The tea and make electricity at home, bread, clothes, you name them, each of them came from a natural resources. Natural resources come in forms. It may be also a soil, liquid, or gas. It may be organic or inorganic. It may be also be metallic or non-metallic. It may be renewable or non-renewable. Types of natural resources. All natural resources fall under two main categories: renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources. Renewable resources are those that are constantly available, like weather, or can be reasonably replaced or recovered, like vegetative lands. Animals are also renewable because with a bit of care they can produce offspring to replace adult animals. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are those that cannot easily be replaced once they are destroyed. Example, including fossil fuels, minerals are also non-renewable because even though they form naturally in a process called the rock cycle, it can take thousands of years, making it non-renewable. Some animals can also be considered non-renewable because if people hunt for a particular species without ensuring their reproduction, they will be exist. This is why we must ensure that we protect resources that are endangered. Types of natural resources. All natural resources fall under two main categories: renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources. Renewable resources are those that are constantly available, like weather, or can be reasonably replaced or recovered, like vegetative lands. Animals are also renewable because with a bit of care they can produce offspring to replace adult animals. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are those that cannot easily be replaced once they are destroyed. Example including fossil fuels, minerals are also non-renewable because even though they form naturally in a process called the rock cycle, it can take thousands of years, making it non-renewable. Some animals can also be considered non-renewable because if people hunt for a particular species without ensuring their reproduction, they will be exist. This is why we must ensure that we protect resources that are endangered. Distribution of natural resources. Natural resources aren't evenly distributed all over the world. Some places are more endowed than others. For instance, some regions have lots of weather and access to ocean and seas. Others have lot of minerals and fossils. Others have metallic rocks, wildlife, fossil fuels, and so on. For example, the US has the world's largest gold reserves with 491 billion short tons, accounting for 27% of the world's total. Australia is the world's largest net explorer for coal, accounting for 29% of global coal exports. Overpopulation. This is probably the most significant single threat that natural resources face. The world's population is increasing at very fast rate. In the USA, a baby is born every 8 seconds and a person dies every 30 seconds. The increase in population made there will be a pressure on almost all natural resources. How resources consumption land used with more mouth to feed and people to house. More land will need to be cultivated and developed for housing. More farming chemicals will be applied to increase for production. Many forests or vegetative lands will be converted to settlements for people, roads, and farms. These have serious repercussions on natural resources. Resources consumption forests demand for wood, timber, for roads, and forest products will be more. People will therefore use more forest resources uh, than they can naturally recover. Resources consumption fishing. Fresh weather and sea food will face problems too as will be continue to depend heavy on them. Bigger fishing companies are going deeper into sea to catch fish in even larger quantities. Some of the fishing methods they use are not sustainable, thereby destroying much more fish and sea greater in the process. The consumption of resources, the human demand for a comfortable life means more intense communication, transport, education, and entertainment and recreation will need to be produced. This means more industrial process and more need for raw materials and natural resources. It is important to establish the use of natural resources in a sustainable way that maintains a balance between humans and the environment. Thank you.